Here is a video overview of how to use the WISE image coadder for inertial targets, in other words, those with a fixed RA index. From the main IRSA page, click on WISE. Scroll down and you can find the coadder as one of the IRSA services using WISE. Click on the coadder link. For detailed instructions, you can click on the interface instructions link. For a detailed description of the software under the hood, including the acknowledgments that are requested, you can read the iCourse software description. Returning to the main screen, you can upload a single location, a table of locations and channels, or a list of locations that could be, say, a list of all the AGN you want to sum up to be a representative AGN, or could be a moving target. This option will be covered in another video. This video covers adding up all the available data for a single location. For our example here, let's put in IC417. You need to choose a WISE band number. The default is 3. I'm going to pick 2. You need to tell it what image size you want. I'm going to use the defaults, and that's fine for this example. You need to tell it if you want north up, and you need to tell it what pixel size you want. By default, it's going to use normal area weighting in order to create the mosaic. There are additional parameters down here that have to do with what quality frames you want, included how close you want to go to the moon, how close you want to go to the South Atlantic anomaly, and what date range you want. This version includes access to all of the publicly available WISE data. Only the Prime mission has channels 3 and 4, and the All-WISE release sums up all the data from the Prime mission. But using this tool, you can sum up all of the publicly available WISE data from channels 1 and 2, both from the Prime mission and the reactivated NeoWISE. You can also, optionally, run high-res resolution enhancement. For this example, though, I'm not. Let's click Submit. It's going to take a long time to do it. It gives you an estimate of how long it thinks it's going to take. If that number is more than about 30 minutes, you probably should request an email notification, and then you can close the browser window without terminating the job. If it's less than about 30 minutes, go check your email, get a cup of coffee, and come back and check on it. Note that if you requested it add up all the frames for a source near the ecliptic poles, which get observed every 90 minutes, your job could literally take days or weeks, even if little else is running on the server here. Be careful what you ask for. Okay, I got my coffee, and it's come back with the result. It tells us some diagnostic things at the top. It's telling us here that we'll show up to 50 positions, but since we only asked it for 1, that's okay. And it successfully found data at that 1 position. You can also wget the results in either JPEG or FITS format. You can also download all of the data as a tar file, but as soon as you click that button, this page vanishes. Here's a quick look version of the data that's returned. If you want to save it to disk, click on the diskette icon, and it saves it wherever your browser is configured to save files. If you want to look at it, click on this icon, and it launches the IRSA viewer with the image it's just produced already loaded into it. This is the real FITS image, so you can interact with it. There are other movies covering the IRSA viewer tool. Keep in mind that the image that's returned is in units of counts. If you go back to the web interface instructions, it reminds you of all of this. The units of the intensity and the uncertainty mosaics are WISE data numbers. In order to do photometry and convert that into calibrated magnitudes, you need to follow the directions that are in the software description or in the delivery document in order to get the information out of the header in order to do this calculation. Remember, too, that you can upload tables. So if you go up to the documentation and look at the example table, this table has 1 position at 1 band with the parameters for that band. You could add another line with the same position, but band 2, and the parameters customized to that edition. You can create 1 line for the same position, but for each band, and that way you can have it automatically produce images at all 4 bands for you, co-adding all of the available data.